All right, thanks for tuning in. For this project, what we're going to do is we got this table that came with it with the pole. The tabletop removes from the pole removes from the base, all right? So what we want to do is we're making a permanent bed here, but what we're going to do is we're going to leave a 15-inch seat and a permanent bed, because when we go out, we don't want to have to set up and tear down, set up and tear down. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove this tabletop and this pole, and I'm going to show you that we're going to unscrew this, and then we're going to move it out to the position that's right in the middle of the 15 inches that you got here, and we're going to mount a really small tabletop to it that we can remove at night, or it'll just be out of the way when we go to bed at night, and then we got a little table at least to work with. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove this base. So I'm going to try to figure out which bit size this is. They're all full of dirt, but that's it. First shot. So you can see that's a square head, right? Let's see if this will do it. Yes. All right. So that came out real nice and easy. It looks like there's 6 of these. And that was relatively easy, and let's hope that they didn't ruin the vinyl underneath. Just a little bit, I'll have some cleanup to do. Okay, the next thing I did here is I started by putting this tape measure down and seeing if this was a straight line, and it is. What we need is we need 15 inches in from basically that, because that's where our seat's gonna start. Then to start with, I'm just gonna put a little dot at 15 inches over here. Now I've got a middle. Now, this is exactly 32 across. So 32, if I did it this way, which I have to do that, I could put this as a straight line right here, line it up with my mark. There's your 16-inch mark, it's 32 across. 15 is 7.5. So this should be center of where that circle's gonna go. All right, so before I get going, I've got my center marked again. I forgot to do a line here, right? So I got a line here for the 15-inch, for halfway of the 15-inch mark. So I'm 7.5 from there, that's good. And then from this, if I go to the 16, it's right there. Now, that's my center mark. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and take 3 3/16, and I'm going to mark a mark out here and a mark out here at 6 3/8. 1, 2, 3, right? That's that way. And I'm going to do the same thing this way. When setting this down, I should be able to line it up with all of those and see that the center pin is right in the middle. So that should be it right there. Now I'm going to go ahead and mark my screw points right there. So I got my 6 screw holes now, and I'm going to take one screw and just start some pilot screw holes now. Right in the middle there. Right in the middle there. And I'm going to go ahead and anchor them. I really didn't need to do pilot holes on this because the floor is so soft. I'm just so used to doing that that I did that. There's one. There we go. Now I got that moved out. It's ready to go right there. So I will get an eraser and I'll erase this pencil line from in here. The other ones are all covered up because I made them just so they were just inside that. Now let me show you what we're going to do with this tabletop. So let's go ahead and get these out, and let's hope that they're nice and short. They are, so that's good. Now they stick. These screws can stick inside these square bits because they're such a tight fit. If they ever do, just kind of tap it like that and it'll pop right out. Okay, that was nice and easy, and all right, that came out pretty good. This is that crappy press board, So I got to be careful if I ever screw one back into this that I don't strip the threads, because there's nothing for it to really grab onto there. There it is. I wanted a tabletop that was 14 inches, since it's a 15-inch wide sitting space, 14 inches by 22 inches, which is kind of the width, giving us 10 inches on each side. This cutting board happens to be 14 by 20. All right, so I got this at Walmart for about 20 bucks, by the way. And once again, we have to measure a dead center spot here. So we're looking at 19.5 inches here, which means 9 3/4 would be the halfway mark, right? So I'm going to put a mark there to start with. That looks like it's pretty much center. And then side to side, it's supposed to be 14, which is spot on. So there's my 7 right there. You can see I was a little off with my center, but there we go. I think I'm just going to line it up by eye. So if I look straight down, I'm going to put this X right there, basically right in the middle. I'm going to line up the screw holes this way, and I'm going to get that right about there. I've got a seam that's going through here. It's going right through the center of that one, so I'm going to try to put it on this one too, although it turns into a knot back here. So I'm going to get it pretty close, and then I'm going to go ahead and mark my holes. All right, so all I need really is 2 pilot holes. And to check these screws, there's my first pilot hole. There's my second. And if I lock those in, I don't need to do any other pilot holes like I did on the floor. I kind of did overkill on the floor. If you're working with some stuff, you got to kind of do that. Okay, there it is. And I'll line up these pencil marks right in the middle of the other hole, make sure I'm centered that way. To double check, I'll look in the middle. It looks like I'm pretty much dead center of my X. There we go. I'll snug it up. And there it is. There's my tabletop, right? Let's go ahead and put it on the stand, see how it looks. All right, so I'm going to plug this in to the bottom there. We're going to take this out and clean it up. Then I'm going to set this back up so you can see what I was talking about with the bed and the distance that we had to do the table. So if I set these up where I'm not spreading them out at all, that ended up being 32 or 31.5 inches. And then that left a 15-inch area. We're both pretty skinny, small people, so we're able to sit in this area, as you can see. So if I take these guys, I put those in. I had these shortened, by the way. I had a local person do this for us. And as you can see, they're hanging over just a little bit. I went up a 1/2 inch and I shipment them. I should have left it at 31. Went to 31.5. It ends up being 32 because of the sponge stretching out. But there we go. The table could have been maybe out. And there it is, guys. Look at that. That's not bad. So we got our seats here. I got a little tabletop right here that I can rest my arm on. The other side does not. But Truly will probably sit on this side. She's smaller than me. But to get out, you can just do that. And you can get out, right? So we got a seat here. And there's another tabletop right here. So I can set my drink and stuff over here. And then if we wanted to, we could also set it up like this, where we're playing cards like this as well. So you got a little tabletop for drinks, and then what we were thinking is I could set my laptop on here with the screen facing that way. We could sit on the edge of that bed over there, and this would be our little TV screen that we could watch movies on. So let's get a better close-up look now of it. There we go. It's a nice little tabletop. You can see my hand. And it just spins out so it can sit sideways too. Looks like it's a little, maybe just a little off to that side. But it's pretty close. It's good enough. So I could have mounted it that way slightly, I think. But there you go, guys. Hey, if you like our videos, please hit like and subscribe. Help our channel grow. check out another video right there. Check out our channel right there. We have over 2,000 videos of stuff like this, and I hope you guys got something out of this. We'll see you on the next one. Have a good one.